studying?
So I attend the Georgia Institute of Technology, and I'm studying industrial engineering. I actually just finished my master's in industrial engineering in May. So I've been involved with IISE pretty much since I first started my master's program 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually attended the first meeting. We had a graduate board member show up at our first year orientation, and I liked what I heard, so I made sure I started being active very early. So IISE connects me in many ways, closely related to on campus, right? Being a member of IISE affords me the opportunity to be involved with various activities that the organization is a part of, and after being a part of IISE for a semester, I actually took on a leadership role where I was able to be the outreach to the graduate student community and also the undergraduate student community. Outside of that, we also have done collaborative events and workshops with other members of different organizations throughout the campus. And then also being able to attend the regional conference and the national conference, I'm able to meet students and faculty and professionals in industry from all walks of life. So I think that's how IISE connects me.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What a great place to be on a beautiful Sunday morning with the weather outside. This is the best place in Florida today, right? Well, I'm really delighted to have this opportunity to speak with you. As it was just mentioned a minute ago, I graduated almost exactly 32 years ago as systems engineer, and had a pretty fun career, I think, majority of which was spent in information technology. And when I think about systems engineering and what is the most important job that we all have to do, it's really to make complex things simpler. That's kind of how I think about it. And if you look at our world, the world we live in, there are lots of complexity. And so there's still lots of work for us to do to simplify it and to make it understandable to people and to really make it work for the most part. When I look at the last 30 years or so in the world of information technology, it has just been phenomenal change and phenomenal transformation. The first program that I ever wrote myself was done on punch cards, which had to be fed into a huge computer that was probably the size of the stage or bigger. And the disk drives that time was the size of this podium, and that disk drive could hold 24 megabytes of data. Just think about it. 24 megabytes is about the size of the picture that we take on our phones today. So back then, this was 24 megabytes. Hello, my name is Kirill Tatarnev. I'm a technologist and business advisor to a number of startups, software companies, and investment companies. Industrial and systems engineering plays a huge role in the overall transformation of the world of business and the world of technology. Essentially, we're living in a place where every company becomes a software company, and taking a broad systemic approach of how software and how digital technology can impact companies of all sizes is a role that we all have to play. And this is really the case where industrial and systems engineers can introduce technology and should introduce technology into their daily lives and make it part of everything else and all of the other engineering approaches that are being implemented.
From your presentation, what are some things that you want IISEs to walk away with?
I would say number one is to be aware of an amazing potential that digital can bring to industrial and systems engineering, and then implement it for the companies and for the organizations that folks participate in. I think it's also important to make sure that digital becomes part of the curriculum in the educational process and become part of the program. There are lots of students here and there are a lot of professors, and they can certainly take the approach of thinking through technology and thinking through digital as part of what's being done, versus sort of traditional approach where everything technology related is sort of IT, which sits in a silo.
I fell into logistics, and it's been my career the rest of it since then. But in my first role, I had my first manager, I had my first review with him, and he wrote on my review, things don't always have to be perfect. I didn't understand what he meant. I'm like, what do you mean? Things always have to be perfect. I mean, I get it, I'm a perfectionist, but I just didn't understand what he meant by that. And I've been working for a long time now. I've had a lot of reviews, and that's one of the only comments I've ever remembered from one of my reviews that was written down. But it's really stuck with me as I've gone throughout my career. And it's from things like my career path has not turned at all like I thought it was going to, but it's been a good career path for me. Sometimes, I have to realize that in the world, especially when you're working in operations, that stuff has to get out the door, and if it's 99%, it's okay, and I have to learn to let that go. I've also started to realize this in my personal life. Sometimes I'm so excited for something, that I want to make sure everything's perfect. Like, we're going on vacation, I want to make sure we stay at the perfect hotel and we have the perfect flights and everything works. Well, by the time I find all of that perfection, the hotel rates have gone up or they're not available, or the airplane tickets are no longer available. It's something I continuously work on, is my perfectionism, to calm it down a little bit, and that things don't always have to be perfect.
Hi, I'm Jessica Rano, and I'm the immediate past president of the Society of Women Engineers. I'm also a project manager at AmerisourceBergen, where I design supply chain projects and implement them for things to improve our supply chain around the United States. We have 26 facilities. We do next day shipments of pharmaceuticals to stores like Walgreens and to hospitals everywhere in the United States, providing important healthcare needs for everyone. I joined IISE, well, back then it was IIE when I was in college, and it provided a lot of upperclassmen mentors for me. So I was involved in several student organizations in engineering, and also I was in a sorority. But to really find out about, IE was a small department, about 200 undergrads. And so having those upperclassmen, they helped me figure out places I could work. They had experience as interns. Actually, a member of IIE that I had met when I was a sophomore, when he graduated, he went to go work for Capgemini. And he came back on campus to recruit, and I connected with him again because we had known each other through IIE. And that's how I got my job there, my internship there, and then my first full-time position.
So you can see here on the chart, Boeing is working in one of the former orbiter processing facilities, developing the CST-100 Starliner, which is one of the manned space capsules that they will use to start launching our astronauts back to the International Space Station. We're probably aware that right now we are dependent on the Russians to get astronauts to and from space station. So we wanted to get away from the model. One of the reasons when we retired the space shuttle, that was our taxi, if you will, back and forth to space station. We said we're going to rely more on the commercial industry. NASA's not going to provide that anymore. So we have contracts with Boeing, and you see SpaceX there on the top right side of the slide. We have contracts with both of them, and hopefully the end of this year, beginning of 19, we will see our first manned mission from American soil for the first time since the shuttle program retired. So we're excited about the work that Boeing and SpaceX is doing, and they're doing it right there on the Kennedy Space Center.
I'm Nancy Bray, the Director of Spaceport Integration and Services at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. So NASA's all about processes and systems. So industrial engineering really lends itself to the NASA way. So whether I was working facilities or warehousing or integrating the spaceport to support commercial launchers, it's all about the process and how we can streamline it, make it the most efficient, make it the best interaction between human and machine, and it really does apply. I never really had thought of how NASA would use industrial engineers, but now I see it every day in just about every career field. So the biggest challenge we have today is integrating that commercial and government. So for so many years, NASA was very focused on government-only programs. And now we're trying to bring the commercial industry in and helping facilitate their success in the space launch business. And they do things quite differently than the government does. So we're learning from our commercial partners, and they're learning from us. And it's very challenging at times, but the key is establishing the relationships, and we've done that, and understanding each other's processes and expectations, and working through those. And so again, having the industrial engineering degree helps to understand the technical side of what those commercial partners are trying to do, and then understanding how we can better support them and provide the services they need to accomplish their mission.